Hello and welcome or welcome back. I'm Cathy Liska with the Center for Coaching Certification and Coach 123.
I'm Pandora, and I'm also affiliated with the Center for Coaching Certification and Coach 123.
And we are super excited for all three of our guests today coming to us from the Temple University Health System. So please introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allyson Saccomandi, and I'm the head of leadership and organizational development at Temple University Health System.
Hello, I'm Tanya O'Neill. I'm the Director of Organizational Development at Temple Health System, and I report to Allyson.
Awesome.
Hi, and I'm Marlene Harding. I'm Senior Leadership and OD Consultant, and I report to Tanya O'Neill.
All right, perfect. We've got the whole chain of command.
We have a whole chain of command here.
This is great. This is great. All right. So tell us about the coaching program you have going on at Temple.
So the coaching program started here, I don't know, I would say probably about 6 years ago. We just saw a real need in the organization beyond training to provide opportunity for our leaders and most importantly, our physician leaders and residents to be able to have the opportunity to have a one-on-one coaching experience that would really develop their soft skills, or I would say their interpersonal skills and their leadership skills across the organization. I think at our organization, we really believe that leadership will help drive our organizational success. And so it's something that we invested in. And so we started a coaching program, or decided to start a coaching program.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So how exactly did you get started?
Well, one of the things that we had to do was really establish a certified process of certified coaches internally. And I think that it's really important for us to be able to not only be able to tell the people that we're working with that we're certified, but that we follow, a set of standards and a process. So we really worked on what that process would look like. And we sent a number of our staff members out to get certified through a program, actually, Cathy, that we found through you, and made sure that everyone had the requisite skills to be a coach. And then after that, we began to launch internally when people would call us and ask us for some type of, intervention. Usually there was some type of interpersonal skills gap potentially, or sometimes even for high potentials, they would want to know what developmental opportunities there were. And so we were able to present this as an option for somebody who maybe had been through a lot of training and was looking for something else, who really needed that one-on-one experience. So that's how we got started, but we wanted to make sure that we could really stand our process up against any external coach who would come into our organization as well. And so sometimes we use external coaches, but there's a big, strong need for internal coaches at our organization, almost on a regular basis.
Excellent. Excellent. So how are you using coaching at Temple?
Tanya, do you want to take that?
Sure. So I have to say, and I was sharing with Cathy actually earlier that I've just been so excited about how the value of coaching has just really expanded here at Temple. And as Allyson said, one of the things we do is we want to offer this specifically to our leaders and helping them really just grow and become more effective and understand what leadership is and where their strengths are, where their gaps are, and how do we close those gaps.
Yeah, so I think that I agree with what Tanya's saying. We're very specific, though, in who we open up coaching to. I think coaching is something where you have to be ready for it. You have to be able to embrace that self-reflection. You have to be ready to, look at feedback, and you have to be ready to make change. And so for us at Temple, we're very careful as to where we put the coaching. So we will definitely put or use coaching really at, I would say, the mid-level, director level and above most of the time. We'll sometimes provide the opportunity to executives across the system if they're not interested in an external coach. And also we provide it to our residents and our fellows on the physician side, because we're really in the business as an academic medical center of building physician leaders. And so we always make an opportunity or time for our physicians. And even if they're just moving into the world of medicine, we provide that coaching opportunity to them as well. So in some ways, it's kind of narrow in what we're trying to do, but I also think it's a matter of not just the amount of time we have to be able to coach people, but also what it takes to be coached and to really be, present in the moment when you are trying to develop those leadership skills.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So you mentioned you wanted to have this process that you could stand it up against anyone externally. And for that reason have had people go through the coach training. So how has that coach training impacted the coaching?
I think Marlene's the latest one to go through it, so she could probably be the best one to explain.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, well, I have to also thank Allyson and Tanya for their support when I first came on as well, before I went through the program. I was a coach, internal and external, prior to getting hired here at Temple Health. So I was familiar with coaching. However, it's been, I'd say personally, professionally, life-changing in many regards, the program. I'm just at the end of the program, and there's still some homework due. That's why I'm saying that. But it really makes you think about the questions you ask. They're simple and powerful, and the pause of silence, how critical it is to let people talk. And you create a safe environment, but that's one thing. It's like, Cathy, I'll phrase you, it's another language. Like, coaching is a different language. And the ethics and the confidentiality and the standards. I think one of the things that really impressed me when I came to Temple, not having yet gone through the program, was this whole agreement process that's been in place here. Before you even start a session, there's you have a one-on-one, and so they understand like what their expectations before. And then if they agree, you send out some forms and an agreement. And it's not until then that they sign it that we actually start it. So it's very professionally done. And so I was really impressed from the start with that. And then having gone through the program and having the support of both Allyson and Tanya, as I was learning different things to make sure I aligned it with the way we do it at Temple. And so going through this program has really, for me, been really powerful, huge learning curve. And also I feel like it's given me that model, the template that I've always been after, that I didn't really have because I was natural and I did a lot of other kind of work. But this really gave me that framework that I can feel more confident from, and feel like I know I'm making an impact on the people that I coach with. So I'm delighted to be in a company where they value coaching so highly, and we have these standards in place to do it.
Yeah, it's so interesting. The certification program that we all use, or that we've all gone through. I tell everyone in the beginning, even if they've coached in other ways, like, this will make you a better coach. Trust me, trust the process. And it really has, to the point where people who are not on our team who want to do coaching have signed up and they become coaches.
Yeah.
And they're, afterwards, just so thankful and grateful of what they learned during this process, that they themselves, have become really better coaches, right? Not advisors, not mentors, but actual coaches.
It's really refreshing. One of my first ventures into coaching many years ago was coaching physicians for a leadership institute here in Denver. I was terrified. I was so intimidated. And what I learned was, it's just another client. It's just another human being.
Right.
What challenges have you experienced in such a professional, the healthcare setting? What challenges have you faced and experienced in the environment?
It's really interesting because our physicians, Tanya will tell you, our physicians are some of the most interested in the coaching experience. Yeah. They're lifelong learners. They have to be, because they are, practicing medicine, but they are the ones who take advantage, I think, of our program the most. Mm-hmm. I think our biggest challenge is, having enough resources, frankly. Not everyone can afford in their budget an external opportunity. So we provide this unique niche opportunity for people to come in and get coaching. So whenever we can build it into our programs or into some sort of training opportunity, a little bit of coaching here or there, that has been, I think, the biggest challenge, like being like the victim of our own success right now. Everyone wants coaching and having to turn people down sometimes, but absolutely, people have gone, I think our culture has shifted a little bit. It's gone from thinking coaching as if I've done something wrong. And we have that sometimes. People are referred because of that. But it has shifted to saying like coaching is valuable to me. Like coaching is an investment to me.
Yeah. And I would say you're absolutely right, Allyson, about that shift, because I think when I first started coaching, that people who were referred, they thought, oh, this is supposed to fix me. And now they understand that, no, this isn't about fixing anything. This is really about just partnering with you as you grow in your own self-awareness, your own self-efficacy, and just kind of seeing where it is you want to go and how you want to get there. And I'm just kind of like the Sherpa along with you.
Nice. So how are all of you growing personally and professionally through this journey?
We just had a little, I would huddle the other day, the three of us outside Tanya's office, talking about our journey through the coaching certification, how we got into coaching, where we are today, whether we think what else we have to learn, right? So I think we grow together. I also think that we use each other almost like in a mentor space. So we will ask each other, we'll bring up certain things about coaching, keeping confidences, but we'll use each other to lean into how might you handle a situation? Have you ever had this question come up? What do you do in this circumstance? And so we've really built a little community of coaches, in our organization. And so I think that's how I would say we have grown. I really love that because it does feel like a community of coaches that we have today.
And I think that's the beauty of having a certification process that we all have to go through. So now we're all on the same playing field. We're all speaking the same language, and we can really lean on each other for support.
Yeah, that's excellent. And what are some of the outcomes you're seeing with your coaching program?
Oh my gosh, there's like, y'all sometimes you have great coaching engagements and sometimes you have some that aren't so great. So we always have to say, it can be a balance. There's a lot of things that go into something being successful. But, I personally have coached, high potential, future executives, preparing them or helping them prepare for their next role. And they've been able to move into those, executive level roles here at the organization, and they continue to come, back to me or the team for additional help and support over the years. We've had, we're often asked when there's new leaders, especially physician leaders, who are transitioning into a leadership position who have never maybe managed before. So, they're asked to go through coaching so that they can plan their process for taking over a role. And so it's just really awesome to see, when a leader that goes through that process and then is able to, really run, a large sort of multi faceted team. So those, I think for me, are some of the interesting success stories that I have.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would have to say, I think my sweet spot, or at least what I love to do, is the work with the residents and the fellows. I have a soft spot for those who are just starting out their careers in medicine. And I think it's really great to see them grow in the process of coaching. A lot of them have never even heard of coaching or didn't realize like, oh, I can have coaching, and ask for this amazing resource that's going to help me get clear as I'm going through this journey. So it's been wonderful to have residents and fellows come back and say, this really helped me. This helped me to set goals and to understand where my strengths are, and to also be able to understand that I'm a leader from whatever position I'm in. Even though I don't have a title, you know, my title is doctor, but I'm still a leader.
That's
Yeah,
great.
and for me, I've had a couple recent, just the other day on a phone call with a leader that we're working on his team engagement survey, and the self-awareness, huge difference. And now we're going to apply it in the actual meeting sessions with his team so they can show his vulnerability as a leader. It was like it was amazing. So the applicability of it. And then the other piece, I had another leader that one slight change that we talked about in the way she physically presents herself, come to find out this has been impacting her family and her children for years without her realizing it, her presence. And she's shifting at the work, and it's also shifting and making an impact in her personal life. And that's the piece that jazzes me up, when you can really affect them professionally and personally in a positive way.
Yeah.
And this year we put it into our leadership development program, our flagship program. For the first time, everyone gets, you know, several sessions of coaching throughout the year-long program. And one of the participants said to me, I feel so privileged or excited to be able to have, you know, your team coaching. And it just really made me feel good, because I feel like, you know, we've really been able to, you know, build this brand around coaching, and that people see value in it. So it's been a positive, I think, overall for our organization, for us to be able to fill that gap, you know, that was really there from the beginning.
That's exciting. So what are some of the lessons learned along the way to getting to that point?
I think confidentiality is a big one. Making sure that you still maintain, that people understand that coaching sits outside any type of like human resource process, and that people see you as that very ethical, confidential environment. Setting that, I think the other thing is making sure that everyone knows up front what's expected, but also that they know in terms of how the process is pulled together, that they can rely on it, and that we will keep our word in terms of how things are, how we keep either their confidence or how we go ahead with the engagement, so that they're aware of it, and that and everyone feels like there's this big trust factor that comes up between the coach and the other party. So some of those things I think have been really important for us. And so people sometimes see us as, even though we report up through HR, they see us as sitting outside of HR when it comes to the coaching, and they feel very, very comfortable with that. So we protect that very closely.
Excellent.
How have you, I've heard mentoring just mentioned one time, which is astonishing, and it's mentor coaching between your group. What strategy have you used to make that distinction between coaching and mentoring in the organization, that university settings, medical settings are so entrenched in mentoring? How have you created that brand of coaching?
It's a little bit of it. I'm going to have to hop off in a second, but it's a little bit of a separate process. So, you know, in the academic medicine side, they have a process for aligning clinical mentors with the residents and junior faculty. And on the administrative side, we have a process as well. So we really use like a matching system. We go out and recruit mentors and mentees, and we have a matching system that we use to help us partner people together. And so those two processes are really separate in terms of coaching. And so when people come into our organization, or when they call and ask for coaching, we step back, and it goes back to what Marlene was saying, right? This is what coaching is. This is what coaching is not. We set the stage for them, and so they expect to be coached, right? And not mentored. And if they're looking for a mentor, then we help them, we put on our other hat, and we help them find a mentor as well.
Yeah.
That's
And
terrific.
I usually encourage them to also seek out, if they don't have a mentor and we haven't matched them yet, to seek out a mentor as well.
Yeah, and sometimes, we can help make those matches, or an introduction to someone who can help them make a match. So we talk a lot about that in our leadership development too. What is coach? Who are you as a leader coach, right? How can you use coaching as a leader? What does a coach do for you if you have a coach? What's an advisor? And then what is a mentor? And how those roles can be blurred at times, but that you know, they should know the difference between them because each one of them is really important to their career development. So we spent some time on that. We built that in last time, I think.
Yeah.
Which is good because it's such a progression from one to the next.
Yeah.
And I've used the phrase coaching is advanced development for advanced results.
I love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
I have to take that from you again there,
I'm
Cathy.
writing that down.
Go, all
Cathy.
about that, all about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that. I love it. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop off because I have another meeting. So thank you so much for the opportunity today.
Thank you for being here. So appreciate having you.
Thank you. It's
Yep.
nice to see everyone.
Awesome. 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 Okay, so now let's flip over Tanya and Marlene. What additional insights do you want to add to the conversation?
You know, as I was listening to Allyson and Marlene, and I was just thinking about some of my own experiences and feedback that I've received from some of my coaching clients. And I feel like it's almost like we as coaches, part of our responsibility is that we're holding this sacred space for our clients where they can feel safe to explore, to take some risk within that sacred space, expand their own thinking and kind of like really, you know, as Allyson said, put that mirror up to themselves to see what that reflection is showing and how is that showing up in personal as well as professional areas of their lives. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel very honored to be a coach.
Yeah. Which makes sense. And that it so speaks to much like what all of you are saying, the confidentiality, that safe space. And then, yeah, that's where the growth is going to come when they know they can be vulnerable and take the risk in that space.
Because I don't think there can be growth without vulnerability.
Um, Which is good. What do you want to add, Marlene?
Yeah, I really agree with everything Tanya and Allyson have said. I think it's powerful and not many organizations offer it. And there is a distinction, you know, between coaching and consulting and there's different roles. And I know before the program, it was kind of blurred for me because I do them all. And it really helped crystallize for me more that safe space or that of a coach and what that allows or enables people to do and bring that huge self-awareness piece to them. And it's almost more than safe space. I feel like we use that term a lot. Did you call it sacred space? Is that what I heard?
Sacred.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'll start using that. I don't mind if I steal that one, but it is because we use safe space a lot when we talk in general, right? In companies, but it really is a sacred space. It's taking it to another level where they can be comfortable to have somebody that's a sounding board, no matter what level they're at. So yeah, I think it's really, again, a privilege.
Yeah,
and it's just great to know you're helping facilitate for them that opportunity where they can make an impact and grow.
And I think you have to also think about who our clients are. You know, these are folks who I don't believe that they have many other opportunities to perhaps allow themselves to be vulnerable because they're already, you know, looked at as the almighty, especially physicians, right? They're already looked at as all-knowing, almighty. And so for them to have a space where they can take that off, that's why I feel so honored to be able to hold that space for them where they can take that off.
Yeah, lighten that load.
Again, I can only imagine the cascading effect of that too. I mean, these people have our lives in their hands.
Exactly.
So to offer them that space, that sacred time,
Yeah.
will be incredible in the long term.
Yeah. So zoom out and just look at this program and what is happening at Temple. And if you were to describe the value of it to somebody at another organization who's, oh, do we want to give an offer coaching or do this? What's your description of the value?
I would say, any organization that says that they want to invest, right, in what is the most important part of the organization, which is the people, then they definitely would want coaching, right? You want to be able to build a dynamic where your people are capitalizing on the growth that they obtain from being able to take part in coaching, so that reverberates into more effective individuals, more effective leaders, more effective teams, and of course, a more effective organization.
Yeah, I think Tanya put it perfectly. The only piece I would add to it is that it's also an investment in the internal coaches. So whether they're LNOD or they're an HR team, I mean, it's so, that was one of the things that, to be honest, attracted me when I was interviewing for the role was, oh, really coaching? You're really there's a program you're gonna invest in me? And even though I was already coaching, it was like, wow, this is really amazing. And then to have that and build my skills and abilities. And it's not just the coaching while you're in a coaching relationship. For me, it'll make me better and has made me better as a friend, as a, as a partner, as in any areas of life, because I can ask questions when people are having challenges, friends of mine or family or whatever, or look at it in a very different way and just be quiet and let them have that space. So there's so many multiple benefits, both personally and professionally. So that's the other piece to it. With the ROI of coaching.
Yeah, I will say that too. In my personal circle, I have received so much feedback from people who've known me since my early days, and they can see the difference that I have become a better listener. And that's, I mean, I can't even put a price on that.
Yeah. That's so awesome. And it goes back to that ripple effect, because the investment in you affects the quality of the coaching you're providing to other people, which in turn affects how they interact with others. And so, yeah, that's fabulous. So I'm curious, if you were going to give another organization advice, hey, if you want to have a coaching program and you want to have the successes and that kind of thing, what advice do you have?
I'll let you go first, Marlene.
I would say, I think, first of all, understand the value. And what I learned was a 600% ROI is the average ROI on a client. So understand the value and impact that you have ability to make internally. And once you really are aware of that and understand the value of it, have a standard process, right? Where it's everybody's following the same, standards, the same process, the same way of coaching, so that we're speaking the same lingo and it won't be hit or miss, which coach you get today or tomorrow, they have a different way of looking at it. I mean, granted, inevitably people have their own style when they do it. However, they'll have that methodology and that foundation that I think creates consistency in an organization. And I think that is a really important part, especially to sustain it and to continue to make an impact and show the impact of a coaching program.
And I'll just hop on to what Marlene is saying. I think it's also important that the top decision makers, they have to be invested in it and understand what the value is, and also articulate it's important, and that we're going to help clients, help folks apply their learnings and achieve their coaching goals, that there will be space for that as well. And I think that that's another really important piece, is like, you've got to have the people from the top also invested in understanding what the value is. And I think that's one of the great things we've been able to do here at Temple, is we have the buy-in from the top.
That's awesome. And it really does make an impact. Really
Mhm.
does. That's great. What closing thoughts do you want to share?
I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I don't take this responsibility lightly.
Yeah, and it's continual growth. So, you know, again, I just wrapping up the program, there's other steps in the program, and I want to do more and get even better and more seasoned the more you practice and learn from my colleagues here. Um, and yeah, it's just been an amazing journey. And I think also coupling the coaching with a high level leadership program that I see it done here at Temple. I did that at one other organization as an external. That speaks volumes. You know, that from the top has approved it, supports it, and then have it as part of a leadership program. That sends a message, you know, to others in the organization about how much it's valued and for the overall organization and every individual leader, because one leader can have an impact on thousands. So
Yes.
that's all it takes is one.
Yep. All
Yeah.
it takes is one.
No, that's really good. And we are seeing that on the Coach 1, 2, 3 side, where we provide coaches, and we're seeing increasingly organizations with the programs for leaders and high potentials and that kind of thing are pairing it with the coaching as part of the program. So excellent. Excellent. Pam, what do you want to add?
I just laughed out loud a few minutes ago because my dog is much happier that I'm a coach now. She's really, really happy, even balanced.
I love that.
It affects all relationships, right?
All
does.
relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's,
You guys have been terrific. Thank you so much.
yeah, so appreciate
guys.
coming and sharing. It's I think it's awesome to just help get the word out and let people know what's out there, what's being done, and how valuable it is. So that's great. Thank you so much for being here.
You're
Well,
welcome.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah. And everyone do come visit us at www.coachcert.com and at www.coach-123.com. So thank you and make it a great one.